we are that Man o' War was foaled right here in Lexington 100 years ago today. And his incredible 16-month racing career took him up and down the entire East Coast, winning every single race but one, and earning praise and accolades on top of praise and accolades. Man o' War was finally able to come back home to Lexington for the last nearly 30 years of his life. And his extraordinary legacy on the track and as a sire continues to this day. And that's why we're here 100 years after his birth, celebrating that legacy, remembering the horse that some say is the benchmark by which all other American thoroughbreds are measured.
Kind of grew up around this horse a little bit. My dad was working for August Belmont in 1917, and he went to work that morning on March the 29th of 1917, and Man o' War was a foal, and he had the honor of putting the first halter on that foal that day, and turned him out a little bit later on. He says that with Mahuba, and the horse, he took off running, and he just kept it up. I remember vividly the first time I ever saw the horse. My dad had taken me to see him, and we walked in the barn, and Mr. Will Harbert, he was Mr. Harbert to me, and it might have been Will to my daddy, but he was Mr. Harbert to me. And he had some tourists there that day, and he was giving his talk. He was a lot more well-spoken than some of the press things you read about him. He was very literate, and the stories that he told they were wonderful. And I got to know him pretty good, just because although I was just a kid at that time, I was just a runny-nosed kid, that going to see him with my daddy. And but I got to be around him some because my dad was a manager of Dixiana Farm at the time, and as a crow flies, that was just about 2 miles away, but it was about a 20-minute ride on my bicycle to go see this horse. And had to pull up that hill from Russell's Cave there, kind of a steep climb, but I made it. I went to the funeral, and that was the first funeral I ever attended, was Man o' War's funeral. And I don't think there were two of us left that were there that day. I know Dr. Bill McGee is a wonderful gentleman, and he should be here in place of me because he was the horse's veterinarian. When I drove over there with my dad, we had to park maybe a quarter of a mile away. There was such a crowd. Ed Fallon wrote a nice column in the Blood Horse. He pegged it at 2,500. I don't know. I mean, I was just... But anyway, we had to park about a quarter of a mile away and walk. And we stayed on the fringes, kind of, because I don't think my dad wanted to see him. He was in a casket, and it was lined with the Samuel Riddle's colors, the black and gold. And I don't think Dad wanted to see him like that. And neither did I. But anyway, I can get emotional talking about this. I don't know how many of y'all saw Arrogate win the big race, the Dubai World Classic, this last Saturday. If you'd ever watched him run before, he'd been what we call a stalker. He would lay third, fourth, right off the pace, and then come on and win, make a move on the turn reminiscent of Secretariat's move. He made that move down the stretch and won. And I don't know how many of you heard what the announcer said that day, the track announcer. Are we seeing the anointment of the Man o' War of the 21st century? It's been 100 years, and he's still the measuring stick of greatness in the thoroughbred. And he'll always be number one with me. So.
This is the greatest horse that ever lived. Why do you think we still refer to him as that?
Well, he started 21 times, got beat one time in 21 times, So he met all comers. He didn't shy away from no horse that he gonna run against, and he would beat him from 1 length to 20 lengths, you know. That shows how much power he had. And I noticed when I looked at Man of War, that he had big nostrils. And the intake of his air was going down in his lungs was giving him the power to run. That's what he was running on. And so when the horse got close to him, he just took a long breath and he was gone again. That's what I know. That's exactly what I know.